Day 26 in the Journey of Learning. We're going to go through the configuration of the wireless access point. It's a very simple, straightforward, very brief um, process that you have to go through. And so I'll be demonstrating that here. Of course, I've already configured the wireless access point, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So what you want to do, you already have your wireless access point connected. You also have a console cable connected to the wireless access point. So console cable, as well as the Ethernet cable to the wireless controller or wherever you've decided to connect it. You will be presented with the login. So the first thing you want to do is log in. With Cisco, this is the default password and this default login. And then you want to go into enable mode. Your enable mode password will be Cisco. From there, you want to enter this information here, but of course, you're going to change this information. So let's give the access point a host name. Following the naming convention, it's ATL WAPO1, Atlanta Wireless Access Point 01. So we've just named that device. Next thing here, so this is the syntax, and here's the actual example below. And this is exactly what I've done. So enter, you will type out capwap, AP, IP address, and then you want to enter the IP address and the subnet mask. I've given this the IP address of 10.10.5.7, along with the, and that is not correct. That should be 0. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And you see the addressing scheme, right? The wireless access controller was 10.10.5.6. This first access point is 10.10.5.7. It needs to know the default gateway. So capwap APIP default gateway and give it the IP address. So here it is here. And the IP address is 10.10.5.1. So you actually have to type out all of this, all of this, all of this. Here, it's a dialog function. It's dialogued where you do login, you do the password, go into enable, enter the enable mode password. Of course, you want to change that. You don't want that to remain that. You want to change it. And last but not least, you want to tell it where it can find the controller. So the controller is capwap AP primary base, the name and IP address. I've also seen this work with just the IP address. So you can enter capwap AP primary base and just the IP address. I've seen that work. But if for some reason it's being a little finicky, enter the name and the IP address. So this is ATL wireless controller 01 10.10.5.6. At that point, it will connect to the controller. You will see it begin to pull down some things, um, and you'll know that it's working at that point. And once it's complete, do a show interface on it, and you should see everything up. Now, I want to demonstrate that we have all of our VLANs being broadcast in an SSID. We're presently connected to the sales wireless access SSID. And so let me show you our I'm going to show you that we actually have internet connectivity that is actually going to go through the access point um, to the controller, to the core of the switch, out the routers to the internet. So let's go to oh well, as you can see, you have all of these, so you know it, you know we're there. So let's do something like Cisco Um, show interface. And as you can see, we have results. Now, let's do something like ice cream. All right, so let's do this. Let's connect to another one. Let's connect to our marketing. Oh, and this is a very good example. I'm glad that that has happened because when that happens, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do IP config. You're going to do a release. Let's do a renew. Let's try again. There, and it worked. So when you're switching over to other VLANs, you want to just, sometimes it doesn't release that IP address as you want to, but you can now see that we're connected to marketing. Let's test that. Um, let's say network. Sands Institute. And as you can see, that's working. Let's demonstrate our last one, and that is the research SSID, or the research network. Again, I'm hoping that we have to do. I know it might be a pain sometimes, or I have to do another release renew, but I'm hoping that it forces me to do that because I simply just want to demonstrate that to you. And so you'll know what to do sometimes. Well, this time it went. So we're now on the research SSID, or the research subnet or network. Hmm, that's it, network. I'm curious about that. We probably need to look in the wireless controller to see why that says, and I can go to the wireless controller from the SSID 10.10.5.6, remember? Oh, that's wrong. I'm curious as to why that says network. Um, admin, and I added this admin profile in the GUI. You'd never want to save anything like that in the browsers and etc. So I want to look at the WLANs research. I just want to make sure that it's nothing. Okay, so it's nothing. It has nothing to do with here as to why it says network. So it looks like more like a Windows thing. It has nothing to do with what I've configured here. Okay, let's log out. And there you have it. At this point, now when you connect your wireless access point, the first thing you should see is a green light when it connects to, once you finish that config, that initial config, which is here. Once you finish this, it should go green. It's going to flash for a while, etc. It may even be red, green flashing. Then at some point, it might be a amber color, more like somewhat of a neon yellow color. And then at some point, maybe even a flashing amber or flashing green, and then it should go green, solid green. Once you connect via wirelessly, connect to one of the devices connects to an SSID, then you should see a solid blue light. All right. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to save your configuration.